Hello and welcome back to another video on high altitude investing. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Stronghold and just where I think it's going to go in the bigger picture. So we have Stronghold over here on the left and Constellation over here on the right. And the reason I'm showing you this is because of how similar these two charts look. If you look at Constellation in its early accumulation before it broke out to a new all-time high, you can see Constellation did a very similar market structure as what we see over here on Stronghold. So what I'm watching for here with Stronghold is a breakout up through our local resistance at around 2 cents and a very similar move as what happened over here on Constellation, where once Constellation broke above that resistance level, you can see the price of Constellation went very vertical here all the way to a new all-time high and really skyrocketed. So Stronghold has a very similar setup here, and once we break above that resistance level, I expect a very large increase in value for this coin. Now, how high could Stronghold go in this pump? I could see Stronghold going as high as 25 cents in the parabolic run that comes after we break above our local resistance. Now, a lot of times early on in these cycles, you will get these kind of accumulation patterns that are very choppy, and a lot of people don't really know what's going on. They can't tell if it's in an uptrend or a downtrend because the price of it is chopping around. And actually, that's exactly what you want to see when something is being accumulated, because basically what's happening is the bigger players are consistently buying over time and they're accumulating as much as possible. So the price of it's getting thrown around up and down everywhere as it's being accumulated by those big players. But you can see over here on Constellation that once you break out through that resistance level of the accumulation pattern, then you get a very, very vertical move. Constellation went completely nuts here, all the way to a new all-time high, and really made a lot of people super rich. So when you look at these two charts side by side, you can get a pretty good idea of just how high Stronghold could go in the next parabolic run that's coming in this market. If we do hit 25 cents per Stronghold, that's over 3,000% gain, which is 30 times your money from current price. So this coin really is set up to just completely obliterate its old all-time high, go parabolic, and make a move very similar to what we see over here on Constellation. So we've talked about the bigger picture. Let's drop time frames down to the smaller time frame and talk a little bit about what's happening in the short term for Stronghold. Now, the first thing I want to show you guys here is the hidden bullish divergence on the daily candlesticks. So as you can see, we do have a higher low in price where we have a low right here and a higher low right here, where the MACD makes a low right here and a lower low down here. So that's called hidden bullish divergence. And it's actually the exact same thing that Bitcoin did recently before Bitcoin broke out to another new all-time high. So you can see on Bitcoin, we have our low right here, our higher low right here, where the MACD has a low right here and a lower low right there. So that's hidden bullish divergence on Bitcoin. I was looking at this hidden bullish divergence right here before we actually broke out. So it is a pretty strong buy signal to see hidden bullish divergence, and it played out very nicely here on Bitcoin. Now, if we zoom in just a little bit more here on Stronghold, you can also see a downward pointing channel. So once we break through the resistance of this downward pointing channel, I expect us to push right up through local resistance and start to make a nice rounded bottom structure here on Stronghold. Now, once this thing really starts to round out and see higher highs and higher lows, then we'd be watching for that big parabolic run that we were looking at in the bigger time frames, where Stronghold starts to go vertical, a lot like how Constellation did after it broke bullish out of its accumulation pattern. Now, from an Elliott wave perspective, we have a running flat pattern. So you can see with the Elliott waves, we have wave A, wave B, and wave C. So that's a running flat Elliott wave, which would put in place our first and our second wave. So we'd count all of this as wave 1 and wave 2 in preparation for a bigger picture, wave 3 in this market. In preparation for a bigger picture, wave 3. And as I said before, I expect this breakout on Stronghold to be very vertical and very parabolic. Exactly what wave 3 is like. Wave 3 is always very parabolic and very bullish. Not to mention the fact that wave 5 is often extended in crypto. So that means that both wave 3 and wave 5 should be a lot more bullish than anything we've seen so far. So that means that wave 3 and wave 5 will be a lot more bullish than what we saw down here with wave 1. So that is my view on Stronghold. Be ready for some very big moves, some very parabolic movement in this coin. This should take us all the way to a new all-time high and make a lot of people super rich. The chart looks exactly like Constellation when Constellation was in its early day accumulation before it went vertical in 2021. And we really have the same setup here for Stronghold. So get ready for big things for this coin. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. I love you. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos. Make sure you apply for the one-on-one coaching if you guys want to learn how to do stuff just like this. And I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos. As always, stay profitable out there.